Hey, what's going on, everybody? Make sure that you like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. If you need to contact me, my email is down in the description. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so I want us to sit back and I want us to think about, those that were living and grew up, because we have this period right now of sample. And we talk about like the city girls and hot girl summers, and we talk about this and women being independent, women going after their career goals and putting their careers first, putting their self-interest first, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. We talk about these modernized women. Kevin Samuels talked about modernized women. A lot of people gave him flack, but if you listen to his calls, and I listen to his calls, I listen to his shows. I followed his shows for quite some time, and he gets a bad rap, but the evidence of what women wanted was brought to him. And he dealt with it from the standpoint of, okay, meeting you where you are. So in this society, it's comedians can't do comedy because they're going to offend somebody. And then when they meet people where they are, they're not funny anymore. They don't like their material anymore. You know, you can't show this because it's going to offend somebody. You can't talk about these people because it's going to offend these people. You can't even say that these people are this because that's going to offend them. But that's exactly what they're being. Like we live in a society now where it's an unrealistic expectation to just be realistic. You can't be if some listen, if a man likes a man, we can't even call it. We can't call it anything. If a woman likes a woman, we can't call it anything. You know, if 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 a woman is a plus size woman, we can't even call her plus size. We can't even do that. We can't do that. We can't do anything anymore. The game has been rigged on us to keep us stagnant, even to the point now where no one idea is an original idea. Somebody thought of it before, but now we live in a society where an idea, a video, a thought, or anything that somebody else comes out with, next thing you know, somebody is getting a lawsuit or having to face some type of litigation because somebody said something that sounds similar to something that they said 57 years ago. Even with this Khalees thing, okay? It's so sad because it should have been flattering to Khalees that Beyonce used that little snippet in her song that would have allowed her to be able to get paid or whatnot. But she got so upset and so offended, and it's just like now you can't even draw inspiration from anybody else. So musicians can't listen to other musicians when they make money. And some musicians, they don't listen to other musicians when they're in their creative space because they don't want to be influenced by that. And now it's a penalty to be influenced by anybody for anything, for any reason. And you have to go through the measures of proving. We also live in a society where if you're accused of something and no evidence is being presented, people still want you to take accountability for what you're accused of. So if you're saying, hey, I didn't do that. Hey, I didn't do that. Society will look at you like she's not being accountable, especially he's not being accountable. I don't feel any remorse for what he did. And it's just like, but what did he do? What did he do? Can somebody please bring forth the evidence that's indisputable that says that this person did what they did? No. So if somebody's rolling, somebody's getting going, and somebody gets mad at somebody rolling and getting going, all they have to do is say, he did this, he did that, and that person's character, the defamation thereof, is on the loose, and they won't recover from that. I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen in sports, entertainment. I've seen it happen in everyday life where somebody is saying someone did something to them, yet there is no accountability on the person who is accusing the victim to come up with any kind of substantial, credible evidence. I've seen it happen before. Um, I really don't want to get into the name calling. But now, listen, when somebody does something wrong and they've got evidence against them, that's one thing. But the court of public opinion, it imposes and it enforces organizations to act the way that they want them to act towards someone. I've seen guys get punishments for things that they did 25 years ago. 25 years ago. And if the shoe was on the other foot, they want leniency. And I'm trying to not be specific, but living this life, if you've lived it long enough, or think of examples of these types of things happening. And so we live in this reality that's not a reality. Nothing makes sense in this reality. You're expected to serve, but you're not expected to be served. You are expected to be loyal, but you can be betrayed. You're supposed to be faithful to whatever it is that your assignment is supposed to be doing, that you're supposed to do. But you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot expect. How dare you expect that in return? We no longer live in a society where reap what you sow, give unto others as you would have them give unto you. We don't live in that society anymore. And you got to figure out how you can survive in this society. If you are still living under the old moniker in this society, that as long as I do the right thing, as long as I do the right by people and everything like that, I am going to be treated well. So I'm not trying to discourage you from not doing the right things, but what I'm saying is be honest with what you're facing and move according to what you feel is best. Because at the end of the day, it's what's in your heart. I always talk about this the righteousness in your heart, the abiding. We even live in a reality where there are different types of truths. Now, once upon a time, there was one truth, and there was many lies, and all kinds of forms. But the truth didn't take many kind of forms. But now, in this vortex that we live in currently, this society we live in currently, the truth takes many forms. And here's the thing about the truth. The truth was naked and could stand on its own. Now the truth needs assistance, and lies don't. You can just come up, oh, this is my truth. My truth. I want to tell my truth. My truth. My truth. No. It used to be there's your side, there's the other person's side, and then there is the truth in the middle. That's not the case anymore. And we just keep thinking as human beings that we can just redefine logic. Logic is logic. It's just logic. Even the court systems. You can't, the only rights that you have is the rights that you can afford. If you can't afford the rights, you don't get the rights. This person is crazy. They need a psychiatric evaluation. Are you going to pay for it? Because if you're not going to pay for it, then it's not going down. This person did this to me, and they have a record in this county for doing it to other people. We're not going to use that. Well, why can't we use that? Because that has nothing to do with this case. It does have something to do with this case because it will give you documented behavioral patterns. Oh, we can't do that. Wait, I got money. All right, let's consider doing that. And we say that the system is broken, but the system ain't broken. This system is fixed to work the way that it works. Racism. Oh, I can't get a break. I can't get a job paying what I need to pay. I went to school for all of these years. I got a bachelor's degree. I got a master's degree. I got a doctor's degree. I got 1,752 degrees, and I can't seem to find any work. And I got all of this student debt. What am I supposed to do? Well, just keep on looking for a job or whatever the case may be. But the people that look like me, the people that would be prejudiced in my favor, the people that want to work with me, the the people who look like me, who think like me, talk like me, walk like me, and share interests with me, they don't have positions of power. So what am I supposed to do? Well, you can't do anything in the corporate setting like that. You got to get out there and you got to create your own. What happens to the person that goes to prison and then he or she has felonies? They can't vote. Oh, you can't vote? Oh, you got a felony? Oh, well, we can't hire you. You're a felon. You can't do this. You're a felon. You can't do that because you're a felon. Your driver's license, your passport, whatever it is that you're being punished about, you can't do it because you're a felon, because you got in some trouble, because you made a bad decision, a bad choice. You are punished for the rest of your life, even though you served your time. You come home and you still serving your time. If you buy into that system, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. The only chance that you have in this life, whether you've done something wrong and you've got a record or not, is to create something of your own. Yes, use jobs to take care of the responsibilities that you're taking care of, but be strategic with your time, your free time, and build something for yourself. And if it takes you a long time to do it, just whatever it is that you believe in, that's what you need to be doing. You don't need to be doing what somebody else thinks works for them. Because if you do something and it's money motivated and you go do that, you're going to burn out quick or you're going to have nothing left to give at a certain point. So if you are taking that hustlers route, and I ain't knocking no hustlers. Matter of fact, shout out to the hustlers. If you're going out there and you're hustling for something, and you're doing something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to be, it better be an end game so you can end the thing that you're doing. And you better be doing something to make whatever resources that you need to survive to work autonomously. Because you're going to burn out doing that stuff. You're either going to burn out or you're going to die out. You're going to burn out and say, I can't do this anymore. Or you're going to be in a situation where you like what you're doing is providing you, and you're going to keep doing it until you die. And you're going to just die early. Now, I don't know many people who are watching this that are signing up to die as early as they can. But some people are thinking they don't have a choice. Think about a gangster. Think about somebody who's in the streets. Do you think that they just want to be in the streets? A lot of them, no. But a lot of them don't feel like they have any other choice. A lot of them know it's a short shelf life for being in the streets. But they also like what some of the fruits of them being in the streets is doing. And they don't have any other way. Some people don't have another way or don't know another way. And when you try to explain to them another way, if it doesn't turn over for them in the time span that they want it to turn over, they're not going to entertain it. They're not going to entertain it. They're making 50 G's a week. They're making 100 G's a week. You're going to tell me you're going to provide them something that's going to give them that or the equivalent of that or more? Even if you show them something like that, it would still take some ramp up, and they don't have time for the ramp up. They got things to do. They got a lifestyle that they want to maintain. But systemically, if the system was different, a lot of those issues we wouldn't have. Some of those brothers and sisters that are in the street, they tried. This is why a lot of girls get into stripping. It's fast money. I can make $1,000 a night. I can make $5,000 a night. Ooh, so-and-so's coming in. I can make about $20,000, $30,000 or whatever it is that they make. Okay. Why would I give up that? Matter of fact, why am I doing this? Think about this for a second. What job do you know pays you $1,000 to $5,000 daily. And yet you have some strippers that go to school and they use stripping to pay for school. And what's the end game for them? They're going to graduate, get a degree, get a respectable job, and then they're going to stop stripping. See, the lure is use this strip money to pay for school. And then when you get your degree, once you get your job and you get into your field of your choice, then you can hang up your stilettos and then you can go and you can be a respectable woman that nobody's gonna and then you can hit the delete button. You can hit the you can put all of that past in the trash, and then right in the top left corner where you see the trash bin is full, you can delete it from your hard drive and nobody will ever know that you did it. And on nights when you weren't making a lot of money, nights you weren't making a lot of money, so and so was having a party, so you went to the party so you can make some extra money, and then you got raped, or then you had some sex that you didn't consent to, or you acquiesced to having sex with so and so because you were scared. See, a lot of women are scared to say no to some guys because they fear what might happen with no, because we live in a class participation award society where everybody that participates wins. Nobody's being taught how to lose. And it's not even those people that don't know how to lose. It's the people that always seem to win in life. That athlete that goes to high school, plays in a particular sport, just rock solid, better than everybody else, get scholarship offers to the greatest schools, go to those schools, don't have to take care of themselves, so they get extended childhood of being able to have other adults take care of them, and then they go to the league of their choice or whatever the case may be, and then they make millions and millions of dollars. They never really learn how to work. They never learn how to work, so they don't even have the ability to paradigm shift in most cases to understand what somebody's going through that works. So they treat people differently, or they treat people like they shouldn't treat people because they don't know what it's like to lack. So it's a problem on both ends of the stick. But this society, do you ascribe to this society or do you not? Because it's going to take you some careful steps that you're going to have to take. I didn't even mean the conversation to turn into this, but here we go. You're going to have to strategically plan out the way you're going to do things in a way that you know is going to be righteous for you. And you're going to have to say no to some things that you wanted to say yes to, because those things that you say yes to, those things are not really good for you. So you have to just put those things to the side. Like, I know that eating potato chips and chocolate bars isn't good for me, although I love the taste of them. They're not good for me. I'm going to have to eat, I'm going to have to eat some fruits instead. Fruits are going to be my snacks. Or, hey, look, that pork or that red meat or whatever the case may be, it's not good for me. I'm going to have to stop eating that, because there is nothing that you don't know what you're consuming when you're eating a pig, from one pig to the next. Pigs will eat anything, and you are what you eat. And so if you eat something that ate toxicity, then that toxicity goes into you. It's tough. It's hard. But it's like, do you want to continue to go down the road of slaughter? Because the slaughterhouse is open 24/7. And the sheep that's being led to the slaughter is a long, long line. And if you are involved in things that everybody's doing, that may be a red flag. Don't do things because other people are doing them. Do things because that's what's in you to do. And don't and know how to differentiate between the two, because some people are like, I want to do this. No, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. You're just doing it because it's a societal norm. It's something that is accepted. It's something that most people are doing. Like 80%, I think 80% of the people who make income have them through jobs. And you're sitting there and you're making another person wealthy, and you ain't got no wealth. And what? It would be one thing if wealth didn't mean anything. If wealth didn't mean anything, then it would be okay for you to go and make somebody else wealthy because you don't care about wealth. That's for the birds. But wealth is going to protect you in the system that we live in. And it's going to protect the ones that comes behind you. And so if you're not doing anything to generate yourself wealth, well then you need to come holler at me. One. And we can have a conversation. But you need to have a game plan about how you're going to project what it is that you need on a long-term basis. Yes, you have right now to be concerned about. And you need to do the things that you need to do right now. No, I'm not telling you, look, I know Beyonce talk about you won't break my soul and quitting your job and stuff like that. You better have a game plan when you do that. You better have support when you do that. You know, little Timmy decides little Timmy can't get his life together. And so little Timmy, he says, I can't get my life together or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go back and I'm going to live with my parents in the basement and I'm going to do my thing there and I'm going to get myself going. We just turn the other cheek when it comes to little Timmy doing that. And little Timmy turns out fine. He is a late bloomer. He develops eventually. He creates something in mom and dad's basement. And then next thing you know, he's off and he's doing his own thing. Meanwhile, in the Black community, it is a shame to move back into our parents' home. It's a shame for us to get roommates. It's a shame for us brothers and sisters to live under one roof, to kind of consolidate the debt. That's crazy to us. Nah, I need my own space. Nah, I need my own room. Nah, I don't want to see them. Not knowing that we institutionalized to be like that. Instead of a couple of us getting together and say, hey man, let's live together. Let's live together because we don't have it together. But look, what you're doing is keeping your head above water. What I'm doing is keeping my head above water. Let's come together and let's not live in a space where we have to keep our head above water. That means we can consolidate. I was watching this video, y'all probably seen it, of Lisa Ray and Trick Daddy. And they was doing like a cooking. You know, he was cooking and talking and stuff like that. And they were in front of an audience, I guess. And, you know, Trick Daddy had made, and we already live in a society where you cannot, as a man, you cannot say the truth and you cannot tell anyone or a woman how you feel, because she will give you this look, and it'll make you so nervous. And the one thing you're thinking is, what kind of influence does this person have? And is this person going to cancel me out? And then I won't have an ability to be able to live. The foundation of that, fellas, is you got to be doing something where it doesn't matter if people cancel you out. Just like when you go and work a job and you depend on that job and you dealing with all kinds of crap on that job. If you're dealing with all kinds of crap on that job and you don't have any other choice, then guess what you got to do? You got to take the crap. And a lot of times we created this society today. It gives men crap. It gives men crap and it gives men crap. And guess what men have to do? By ascribing to this society, we have to take the crap. Y'all didn't see, listen, Kevin Samuels didn't teach you that if you come out with something unique and the marketplace wants it, you'll become successful. Like him or not, he had been doing what he was doing for a long time. But guess what? When he started striking this nerve with women, it was the women that was bringing the content to him. He wasn't out there chasing women, asking them or making them say certain things. They were calling into his show, just like the sheep being led to the slaughter, and they were all just saying the same thing. I remember that this girl, I don't want to even say her name because when it's negative, I don't want to say her name. But there's this comedian and they said the name Kevin Samuels and instantly she got wroth in her spirit. It was just, she was irate and she was just trying to discredit him and he wasn't doing a service to society, this, that, the other. No, he wasn't trying to uplift. No, he wasn't trying to help. He wasn't trying to hold women accountable or whatever the case may be. Nothing, none of that stuff. And I'm more or less the type of person that whatever you wherever you are and wherever you're trying to go, I just want to just say, okay, let's go down that road. And let's talk about the possibilities of that road. You have to be aware that these are some of the things that can happen to you going down this road. For instance, if we're going down the road of college, okay, you say, hey, I'm graduating from high school and I want to go to college. And why do you want to go to college? Because I want to get a better job. Okay, let's go down that road. You go to college and you do the very best that you can do. You take the classes and you pass, then you pass them with flying colors. When you graduate and you have that degree, you're all set. You're ready to go. Maybe you take it even a little step further and you go and get your master's degree. Now you got a master's degree. So that puts you in terms of degrees in a more exclusive club. So you got your master's degree. Now you go out there and you want to find work. And now, is it possible, is it guaranteed that when you graduate with a master's or a bachelor's that you're guaranteed to get work? No. Well, 6 months, last time I checked, 6 months after you graduate, you're going to have to pay back, you're going to have to start paying back those loans, those student loans. I was reading somewhere that inflation since 1980 has gone up 217%. And college tuition has gone up almost 2,000%. Like 1990 something, right? So the money that we make has gone down, the power of it has gone down 217%. But the tuition is going up here. But they bind you into these loans that you can get so you can pay for school. And some of us that are out there, we don't want to graduate from school, so we become career students. So we can get money and we just go to school. I've got this degree, I'm going to school. I got this degree, I'm going to school. I got this degree, I'm going to school. And it's just like, what are you going to do with that? So then you graduate from college and now you're trying to test the job market. Well, based on variables, based on cultural bias reasons, you may not get the position that you are qualified for over a person that the hiring manager liked more than you. So now you can't work. So now you can't work in the field that you want to work in as soon as you want to work in. Is that possible? Yes. And is it definite that you're going to have to pay those student loans back? Yes. And then if you got to go out there and pick up a job that you could have picked up not going to school, then everything that you make from this job is darn near going towards the school. You got to know that that's a possibility, and you have to mitigate the risk. You have to mitigate the risk. It's not what you know, people. It's who you know. Do you have the type of personality? Like, I would never take that path if I didn't have the likable personality, or I didn't have a personality where I could commingle with all different types of ethnicities of people and vibe with them. Like if I'm a black man, which I am, and I go and I get my degree, but I only affiliate myself with black people, right? And the people who own the jobs are the white people, the Asian people, the Indian people, or whatever the case may be, for the jobs that I want. And I don't know how to deal with them and commingle with them. The likelihood of me being able to get a job like that isn't going to work. And we don't even think about that because emotionally, we're just taught to go to school. They don't send us to school to become free thinkers. They send us to school to become workers. And then they choose who they want to work for them. You're not guaranteed anything. The only thing that you can depend on is yourself. What's in your heart, what's in your desire, and what you believe in doing. And yes, getting a job where you don't want to work may be something that you have to do at some point in time. But you clearly cannot take your free time and not use it wisely. You have to take your free time and you have to create something else. Because here is the deal. I knew a lady that worked 24 years for this company, and she thought she was going to get a round of applause and a welcoming reception on the last days of her work. And it was as if they took her and put her in a wheelchair prematurely, rolled her down the hill, let her go, and everybody laughed. She was completely embarrassed. And I'm telling you, I know another gentleman. He worked at a company for 30 years, gave blood, sweat, and tears for a company that 2 years before he was set to retire, and I know he was probably on the job talking about retirement. They heard about it. 2 years before he was set to retire. Okay, he was in management. 2 years before he was set to retire, they fired him because one of his administrators was lying on the timesheet. So he lost everything. I mean, he probably got something, but he probably had a reason for wanting to work those last 2 years. And I'm just telling you, they don't feel like they owe you anything. And here is another draw. When you work for a company, it's standard law that you are supposed to get a certain percentage of a raise every sequence of whatever that is. So to do the same job, it costs the company more money. At some point, don't you think if you're running a company and it's costing you more money to get the same production, aren't you looking for ways to cut the cost? Because employees make up the number one expense for any business. On average, benefits is number two. So they're looking at trying to get their bottom line. And if you cut more and more and more and more into the bottom line, let's just say you cost a lot. Let's say you cost X amount of dollars, and that's expensive. Okay. Once upon a time, you cost C amount of dollars. Notice how I'm going up the higher the alphabet, the more money. Okay. So you cost X amount of dollars, and you came in and you were C amount of dollars. And then they go and they hire somebody else and bring them in, and they're C. They may move up to D, E, F, okay? And then they make an F amount of dollars. Stay with me. They make an F amount of dollars. And then they look at their production, and then they look at your production, and they see that it's relatively the same. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to cut you like a bad habit, and they're going to be able to save that money, go hire somebody else to replace the F class person. And now they got a C and an F class. They're getting just as much production, but they're saving all of these different alphabetical monies. Do you follow what I'm saying? They're going to cut you off, and they're not going to have any remorse for it. It's like an NBA player going to a game and finding out you're not dressing tonight. You're getting traded. Now he does start a whole life in that city. He has entrenched himself in that community. His family, his wife lives in a house in that community. His children go to school in that community. And he's just told without any notice, you're traded. And now that family has to sell their house, or he has to go on the road and live in hotels or something else so that they can stay there. And then he never gets to see his wife and his children. Or if he wants to see his wife and children, he has to uproot them and move them away. These corporations don't care about you. And the pressure is on them to not care about you, because if they do care about you, what's going to happen is they're going to fall behind the 8 ball in terms of their competition. It's hard to care about people when the field of competition, they lose when they care about people. And I know that's not right, but what I'm saying is the system is rigged to work the way that it works. It's not broken. It's fixed to work the way that it works. And it doesn't work for the little man. Doesn't. Well, everybody can't be big man. You should try. You should try to be as big as you're supposed to be. Nobody's saying you got to run a multi-billion-dollar company. Nobody's saying you have to run a multi-million-dollar company. There are people out there who run businesses and they might make $700,000-800,000 a year, and they're peons on the radar. But you know what? That $700,000-800,000 a year they make is like numerous times over the average income of an individual, which is about, they say, about 55,000. And they can take that money and then they can ascribe to a system that doesn't have racism, which is investing. Investing doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what gender you are. That's why I don't understand how women can be married to men that go out there and pay it all and take care of it all, and then have the gall to be able to go out there as women and get jobs, make money, or have businesses, and none of their money is going towards the embetterment, the investment of the family. Lisa Ray, back to her. Lisa Ray said, Trick Daddy said, hey, I should be responsible for the majority of the bills. Lisa Ray said, you lost me. You lost me when you said majority of the bills. You're supposed to pay all of the bills. Now, this is going down that road. This is what I'm saying. If I'm Trick Daddy, and he said, come on, Lisa Ray. You got to do something. She was like, I am. I'm giving you some. See, that's the society we live in, where the prize is the portal. As if a man and a woman getting together and having intercourse, that it's not mutually beneficial. Like a lot of ladies out here, you don't want to be with a man that you are physically frustrated with, right? You want to be with a man that you can enjoy in that department, right? Most women would say, of course I want to enjoy that aspect of the relationship. But a lot of our women treat that as if, you ever seen The Color Purple? You ever seen Miss Celia say, when I just let Mr. climb on top of me and do his business? They might not say that in society, but that's the way they're conducting it. You got to do a lot to get this portal, this juice box, is how they run and operate. Instead of saying it's a even trade-off. But if I'm gonna give you the juice box, I want it to be mutually beneficial. They ain't thinking about the mutuality of the benefits. They thinking about how they can benefit. So in a situation like that, Lisa Ray, listen to me. Don't get it twisted. Lisa Ray is in her 50s. I don't know how old she is exactly, but she's in her 50s. But Lisa Ray, if you look at Lisa Ray from an exterior standpoint, Lisa Ray is a well put together looking woman. But her mindset is exactly the reason that she has the sum of, from a relationship standpoint, the sum of what she has accumulated. And think about this. Before I get back to Lisa Ray, I want you to think about all of the hot girls that you knew growing up, okay? I mean, let's not name them, okay? And I was a Lisa Ray fan. When I first saw her in Players Club, I mean, I fell in love with Lisa Ray. I mean, she was very, very attractive. Face and all. But I stopped being in love with Lisa Ray over the course of time, even when I didn't even understand so much, with the things that came out of her mouth. The things that she said and the thing and her stance and her positions. I couldn't understand it. How could a woman that beautiful be this way? How could they be that way? And y'all know some of them. Go back into your archives. The 2000s, the 90s, the 80s. We know some of those eye-popping, jaw-dropping, gorgeous-looking women. And now we have data, because we live in the information age. Now we have data on how their lives turned out. How marriages didn't work for them. how they got so many engagement offers that they turned down, that they brag about. We've got so much data, how they had chosen to carry before they married, and vehemently will go against you if you said anything about that. Let's just take Lisa Ray, okay? And I'm not attacking Lisa Ray. I'm just here to state the facts. We're going to use her as an example because Lisa Ray, a lot of women looked up to her. A lot of women wanted to be Diamond, right? It was an iconic role in the Black community. But let's just for a second, let's just factually look at Lisa Ray and let's just ask this question. Why is it that you have not been able to be in a long-term, committed, meaningful relationship with a man? You have the beauty to attract any man in this world of any ethnicity. You have the body to attract any ethnicity of man in this world. You have the world is your oyster in terms of who you want to be picked by. Where are you going to get your men, and why is it not working out? That's a real question. It's not to be offensive. It's just to be factual. Why is it that you cannot maintain the presence of a man consistently that's willing to do anything for you and that you want to do anything for you? A lot of times you go out, a lot of time, ladies, you've seen it, ladies and gentlemen, you see a woman or whatever the case may be, go out there and get a man, or not get a man, but will be involved with a man in a relationship. And when it doesn't work out, from the female side of the story, it's him. It's him. Ain't no, I wasn't doing this right, I wasn't doing that right. It's him. Now, let's say it is him. Let's go down that road. Let's say it is him. Why are you allowing yourself to be selected by a man that's him? You got to take some accountability for that. Somewhere. Where are you going to make yourself available to be picked? Or if you're the hunter, where are you going and finding these men? What's your criteria? Are your expectations realistic? The son that you have that grew up into the man that you don't want to marry, you raised him by yourself. Why is the son that you have the type of man that you don't want to date? You don't even want to date nobody like your son. And here is the kicker. The things that you do or want a man to tolerate and put up with you, you don't want your son dealing with a woman who has those same levels of expectations that you have for a man. Why can't he find a woman like you? You have 2 or 3 children. You're single. Let's not even put a number on the children. You have a child or you have children, right? And you're single. And you want a man to come into your life and take care of you and your children. I understand that. But then your son is an eligible bachelor. He has something going for himself in life, right? Let's just say the cards stacked in his favor. He makes great income. He's a quality person, and he's a handsome young man. And he comes home to introduce a woman to you. And she's older and you got a problem with that. But you date younger men. Or he comes home with a woman and she already has children. And you're trying to stop him from being with that kind of a woman. But you want to be picked when you're that woman. And then you don't want to take accountability for that. You can't say to yourself, well, you know what? I guess since I want to be with a man who's younger, and I want to be with a man that will accept my children as his own, it's okay for my son to do the same thing. Heck no. No way, Jose. You don't want your son to entertain anybody like that. No siree. And then when you're put out on Front Street, well, aren't you that woman? Now you want to differentiate. She ain't me. She ain't me. Why? Typically, boys grow up to look for women that has characteristics like their mother. And typically, girls grow up and look for characteristics in a man like their father. Unfortunately, in the Black community, our girls don't grow up with the fathers in their household. So they just looking for something, some kind of anything. Usually they're attracted to bad boys. You know, the lost ones are just attracted to those bad boys because those bad boys, they give off this strong masculine toxicity. Now, it's a difference between masculinity and masculinity with toxicity. That's misguided. I always say this. Masculinity is like a sword. Put it in the hands of someone that's responsible and it can do good. But you put it in the hands of somebody who's not responsible and it could do bad. That's not the same thing with femininity. Because in today's society, femininity is just like, what woman wants femininity? Who wants that? Who wants that? So you have the men and the women in society jockeying for masculinity. You got women that they crave that power to be in charge, that power to delegate, that power to be a total authoritarian. Don't even concern themselves with the responsibility of wielding that sword. When they get in trouble, a lot of times they want to still pass the blame. They want to use femininity as a retreat. You know, you in war, you winning, roar. But you in war and you fighting this battle and you start losing and you got to retreat. And then they go back into this feminine role. When everything's working right as a couple, she stands forward and she says, very, very masculine like, right? But as soon as things start going wrong, it's, I thought you were supposed to be the man. Be the man for once. See what I'm saying? Well, you know, he ain't being a man. Okay, again, then accountability has to be on your part. Why are you choosing to be with that man if he's not man enough for you? Because a lot of times he's a means to an end. He's the best that you think you can do. You just ain't telling him that. He's the best that you think. He's the best that you think that you can do. So what you're doing is you're on the prowl and you're looking out for something better. And when something better, you'll stay until something better comes along. When something better comes along, there goes your faithfulness. There goes your loyalty. You're out. See, women don't cheat just to cheat. Women, a lot of things happen before she cheats. First, it's got to be something that she feels is missing in her relationship. Then she starts to keep her eyes peeled and she starts looking for what she's missing from a relationship. And a lot of these males out here, they have a listening ear. What's going on? You can talk to me. Yeah, well, he doesn't do so and so and so, and he doesn't do such and such and such, and he don't do this, that, and do that, and whoop, wop, whip, whip, and bam, 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 whoop, de whoop. And he goes, in his head, he's like, huh? Yeah. What'd you say? Oh, that. Mm-hmm. Oh, he not doing that either? Mm-hmm. Then he takes his playbook home and he's like this all day. Because he wants some of that portal. He wants to be taken out of this world. So man, this guy is not doing a lot of things. Which one of these things can I start doing? I can't afford to do this. Can't afford to do that. But if I can do this list has like 100 things on it. But if I can do about 3 or 4 of these things right here, I already know they mean something to her because she just gave me the blueprint. So I'll do these things. It ain't my particular style, but if I can get me some lay, if I can get me some of that filet, I'm doing it. I can do these 3 things. Okay. She comes back around and he just starts doing these 3 things. He doesn't even know what my favorite color is. He doesn't even know what my favorite number is. And you come around and be like, yeah, girl, purple is your color. Number 7 is your number. Oh, you remembered. Oh. And he got you. Take it a step further. He piped you real good. Then you start acting crazy. He piped you real good, and then you start acting crazy. He ain't really bringing it like the man you with bringing it. He just providing something that your man is either overlooking or incapable of doing. But instead of you being a woman of valor and saying, this relationship's not working out, I want to get myself together in some things that I need to do, and then I want to make sure that I make myself available to be with somebody that I can be more compatible with. That's the amicable thing to do. And then when you break up, he might be upset or mad, but if you go out there and you decide that you want to see other people, or even if you want to take it to the extreme and you want to hoe out, it's all good. That's your decision, that's your choice, and nobody's going to beat him up about it because he's no longer with you. So you went out there and you got buck wild, and then I'm just telling you right now, what a lot of times happen is you go out there thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, and you find out that the things that were missing in your relationship that you felt like you weren't getting from your man, all you had to do was address those things and realize that you're his helpmate. See, that's what these females fail to realize today. You're not going to meet a man that is complete. We are interdependent upon each other. There's going to be things that he is missing. But do you have the skill set to blend with him, to manifest, to see the manifestation of that? Because it's our women. Friend of mine says this all the time. He says, women magnify men and men enhance women. But our women are getting their enhancements and beauty secrets and everything from other women. Not knowing, not even caring about what men want, what men like. Men ain't telling you that we like these little long snuffleupagus type things hanging off your face. Men aren't telling you that they want you to go and buy $600-700 bundles of weave and stick it in your head. Men aren't telling you that we want you to take a coat of Sherwin Williams paint and put it over your face and become a whole new woman. Now, we understand in some special occasions or whatever the case may be that you put some of those things on. But some of you, it's your everyday life. And then you have skin problems from the chemicals. Some of you will get sucked and plucked, snatched and everything. contoured. But you don't have a lifestyle where you can just go out for a walk every day for 30 minutes to an hour. It's amazing over the course of time what that would do. You just watch what you eat and just go walking every day for 30 minutes to an hour. I used to be 305 pounds. I'm 238 pounds today. And it's not from the gym. It's not from the gym. I just went walking every day for an hour. And I'm still not where I want to be. But I can safely say that I had to go and get a whole new wardrobe because nothing in my closet would fit me anymore. And I didn't kill myself to get there. See, some of y'all think, now look, shout out to the people that's out there doing CrossFit and all these other rigorous things or whatever the case may be. That's cool. But some of you think that that's the only way when it's just the consistency. That's the best way. You losing pounds. You lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15, 20 pounds in a month. Or, no, what? Let me just say this. If you are losing 5 or 6 pounds a week, that's not healthy. And I'm not going to do your own research on why that's not healthy. And here's the thing. Some of y'all hate y'all stretch marks. And Cat Williams famously said, stretch marks are from you either being fat at once and then getting skinny, or you being skinny at once and you got fat. But when you lose weight at an acceptable rate, you give your skin an opportunity to react. You do. So some of you feel like, well, I got so much weight on me, I need to go get surgery. Why don't you just, before you do that, why don't you take the next year and just say, you know what, every day I'm going to commit to walking for an hour every day. Now, this hurts all of the gym memberships. This hurts everybody. But if you just went out there and you walked every day for an hour and you just was a little more conscientious about what you put in your body, I would just say this about what you put in your body. What are the origins of what you put in your body? Now, granted, you sometimes, and I do it too, sometimes you put something in your body you ain't got no business putting in your body. You know, that little snack that you want to eat or whatever the case may be. But if the overwhelming majority of the time you are conscientious about what you're putting in your body, better, more good than bad, it's going to pan out for you. And I'm saying this to all of us. Turn from what's bad for you. Even if it feels good to you, turn from what's bad for you, whether it's food, people, places, or things. Turn from it. Not wean from it. Turn from it. If a woman is in a situation with a man and she expects him to deliver upon every financial resource to be brought in and for everything and every responsibility and every bill to be paid by him, one or two things need to happen from that. One or two things need to be understood from that woman. If she is not going to be out there participating and bringing in any money, cool. Question is, what level is she going to perform consistently in terms of companionship and help? That's for the woman. That's definitely for the woman who's saying, I'm not going to work. And you know what, ladies, I'm telling you, if you do not want to work, to a man, he's fine with that. Because when you're out there working and everything, I don't have time to be intimate. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. And men, we don't want to give access to women that's not going to give us the things that we're looking forward to in a relationship. So that's the disadvantage of going out there. But if you have the ability, whether it's a job, whether it's a business, whether you're an entertainer like Lisa Ray or whatever the case may be, you have a propensity of bringing in money. And my money, and I'm with Lisa Ray, and my money is used to take care of everything. What will her money be used for? And I want to listen to that very carefully. Because what is not going to happen is my money is to take care of everybody, and your money is to do whatever you want to do. That's not a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. That's a sponsorship. I know it all too well. When I played football at The Ohio State, They took care of tuition. I was on full scholarship. They took care of tuition. They took care of room and board and books. They took care of everything. And in addition to taking care of that, they cut us a check every month to take care of our apartments that we lived in. And they gave us per diem at certain intervals when they were legally available to us, because we had those NCAA freaking rules for food. We would, we would be, and we had chefs that cook for us, making us pasta, shrimp, steak, lobster, all kinds of things. It was top of the line. They sponsored us. But even in the process of sponsoring us, even in the process of taking care of us, our performance collectively on the team drove in so many millions and millions of dollars. Billions of dollars. So who was really getting the best of the deal? The players or the university? The answer is overwhelmingly the university. I used to work for this company. I'm going to give you another example. I used to work for this company and I would make sales because I've been in sales for about 20 years. And I would do sales and they would pay me about 15% of the sales that I make. So for every dollar that I brought in, they gave me 15 cents. So there would be months where I bring in $30,000, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, and I would get 15% of that. So let's look at 15% of 100,000. That's 15,000. So I would go out there and I would sell jobs and get them done and put myself in harm's way to make those sales, and they would give me 15%. I think I'm right there, right? Is my mathing? I don't think I'm right. Yeah, I am right. 15,000. Sorry. I'm calculator dependent. Anyway, $15,000. And some people say you made $15,000, and this was like over 10 years ago. And it's 2022 now. So $15,000. And they say, man, that's a lot of money. But I didn't look at it like that. I said, I'm getting robbed. Because 85% is going towards the cost of doing the jobs and the profit for the company that I was working for. So who's winning? I make this company millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And yet, I'm a six-figure earner. This company is a 10-figure earner. And I'm a six-figure earner. 10 beats 6 every time. And so we get into these relationships and it's just like, I'm going out there and I'm working really, really hard to make sure that everything's taken care of. What will you be doing with your money, my love? Is my reward intercourse with you? Do you think that if I was on the market, and I showed the ability to be able to take care of everything, would I be a hot commodity to women? Maybe all women wouldn't be attracted to me, but but women aren't visual creatures like men are in the first place. So there are women out there that are with men that they will be with a man that maybe the attraction game ain't what they want it to be, but they love the peace of mind of knowing that things are taken care of consistently. So do you think that I would be eligible on the market? Now, some of those women would be so grateful that they would give me more than just some intercourse. They would actually do more. They would actually be nice to me. They would actually try to make life easier for me. They would actually make themselves available to be companions with me because they feel such a sense of, I haven't found anybody that's going to um, provide for me on this level before. I'm not going to blow that opportunity by not being there for them. Something's on your mind? Come here. Let me massage you. Let me give you a bath. Let me bring you breakfast, lunch, or dinner in bed. Let me just make you feel like a king. So Lisa Ray, she's her power, her go-to move from what she's saying is the intercourse. You should be so thankful because between her legs is this magical portal that takes you places that no other woman can take you. Now listen, Lisa Ray is fine. I'd imagine that any guy that has had intercourse with her could probably vouch that it may be good. It may be real good. But a lot of times, even with those types of women, they just lay down in the bed and do nothing. They just lay on their backs, throw their legs up. And I'm not saying that that's what she is. She might be a certified freak in the bed. But either way, is she the only certified freak in the world? No. Is she the only beautiful woman in the world? Mm-mm. Not by a long shot. Are women rare? Mm-mm. And when you compare these women that are in America to these women in any other country, how does that stack up in terms of what the fellas think? Well, fellas that have traveled around the world and had an opportunity to experience being around other women, they will tell you what the differences are. So what are you going to do with this money that you make, Lisa Ray? What are you going to do with that money? I need to know. And I need you to show and prove. Now, if she opens her mouth and she says something like, I'm going to enjoy this percentage of it for myself. I worked hard for it. That's what I'm going to do. She deserves the right to do that. But my question is, do I have access to your bag, Lisa Ray, to be able to do exactly what you're doing? Well, no, absolutely not. That's my money. Well, wait a minute. If it's not, if I weren't here paying all of the bills, that money that you are getting to enjoy would be used to take care of the lifestyle that you want to have. Right? See, but that's too logical. I make a way. I am a way maker. Then my next step, okay, I'm not going to use that. I'm a way maker for you to do that. But my next step is if she says to me, well, I'm going to use my money for whatever I want to use. I mean, I'll do nice things for you. I'll buy you gifts and I'll say, look, I don't really want gifts. Like, that's not my love language. I don't want gifts. I'll take you on vacations and stuff like that, stuff that you couldn't normally do. Well, if I wasn't here taking care of you and your mom and your child and your children and your grandchild, that money would be freed up for me to be able to do the things that you say you want to do for me. Oh, so it's like that. So you're saying you don't want to be with me? That's not what I'm saying, Miss Lisa Ray. I'm saying that if I did not have to take care of you, the lifestyle that you want, and your whole family, those funds would be freed up for me and I could do what I want to do. Now, but you wouldn't be able to get all of this. No. If that's what you're saying, no, I wouldn't be able to get all of that. But I would be able to find someone who would be willing to go on those trips with me. I would be able to find someone. I could pay an escort to go on these trips, a beautiful escort to go on these trips with me. Right? And The escort is going to know that it's about business. So she's going to know she's going to have to be premier company. She knows that she's going to have to be premier entertainment for me. And I can pay for her anytime I want. And it would cost me less to pay her to go on these things, these excursions and things, than it costs me to take care of your entire family. So what are we doing, Lisa? Lisa Ray, you the only woman in this world? You're the only beautiful woman in this world. I'm not going to even name any. I'm pointing out this to you because this is what you said. Lisa, baby girl, it's so many women out here in the world for men, and men can choose. If a man just gets on his job and makes sure that he can provide, he can produce and protect. If he can do those things, and you sprinkle in that he is a caring person and he can nurture his woman too, because men, we're supposed to nurture women too, right? And we can do all of those things. I can rub her feet, I can give her massages, I can grease her scalp, I can sit down and I can watch shows with her, I could go places with her, I can do things and take interest in her things too. That makes me a commodity in the dating game, because a lot of men don't even have to do that to get access to women. But I'm telling you that if I'm in a relationship with you, these are the treatments that you're going to get on a consistent basis. You think women aren't going to sign up for that? And look, I don't have long flowing hair, and I don't have recessive color eyes, and all that other stuff like that. I think that I look like a normal guy. Okay? I don't think that I'm ugly, and I don't think that I'm the best looking man in this world. I just think that I am of quality. And because I am of quality, let's look at some of the men that you dated, Lisa. What's that guy name that was the from Turks and Caicos or whatever the case may be? Was he like Jet Mail Beauty of the Week or something like that? No, he had a lot of resources and accesses. And no, he wasn't an ugly guy. But what I'm saying is, when he walked in the room, were people dropping their jaw because of the way he looked, or were people dropping their jaw because of what they knew he had? It's just a fair question. And shout out to that brother. I ain't got nothing against that brother. All I'm just saying is the market isn't dictated on how well we look as men. It's what we can produce. Our value comes from outside. Your value comes from inside. And when you hold positions like that and you say things like that and you spew that slime out of your mouth that you spewed, it has an effect on how people look at you. So I have no doubt, Lisa Ray, any man you want, even today, any man you want, from an aesthetic standpoint, you can have any man that you want. But your mindset, what's between your ears, the way you conduct and the way you project, is that going to keep him around? Because you can tell and sell the story that you decided that you didn't want to be with them, but then that comes back on you. What are you doing to put yourself in these unsuccessful relationships? Because every time a relationship ends, someone gets hurt. What are you maintaining? What are you preserving? Every time you get in a relationship and it doesn't work out, scars happen. They just happen. And the end of a relationship is very symbolic to death. There's a level of hurt that somebody experiences most of the time. Not too often do people in their relationships and they don't have any feelings about it. No. Anytime you invest, you hurt when you lose. So I got another question for you, Lisa. Did you go and get any counseling to deal with those bruises, deal with those traumas that were inflicted upon you. Are you trying to sell a story that you were a perfect mate and you ended up being with somebody that just mistreated you? Even under those conditions, which I know you played your part too, because I know you played your part, because some of the things that come out of your mouth are things that men ain't gonna vibe with. But even if that was the case, you are the perfect person, the perfect relationship. You know, you were an excellent companion and you were an excellent helpmate. And this person was a jerk. This person was mean. This person was bad for you. This person used and abused you. Why couldn't you see that? Oh, because he was hiding it to me. Okay. Why weren't you patient enough for him to show who he really was? Or did you allow yourself to invest so emotionally into this person before you could see anything? See, love is blind. And when you go into a house, see, in my house, I know pretty much where everything is. So when I turn the lights off in my house, I have a less likely chance of bumping into things than you coming to my house, Lisa, and not knowing where things are. You would want to hold my hand while I guide you around my house. That's what relationships are, right? It's connectivity. It's trusting the other person for what you can't see that they can see or feel, and vice versa. Because if I came to your house and you turned off your lights, you would know where everything is. And guess what I would want to do? Lisa, where are you? I'm right here, baby. Can you hold my hand? And I would be entrusting you to navigate around that house. That's what happens when we have love in relationships. When we have love in relationships, love is blind. So love turns the lights off. It just completely turns the lights off. Now I'm sitting here and you can hear me. You can hear me and you can feel me. You can smell me and you can taste me, but you cannot see me. And we are sight driven. We are sight driven. So when you get in a relationship with somebody, Lisa, before you allow yourself to get close enough to someone, you need to be in an investigative courtship phase. You need to be trying to find out about this person as much as you can. And you need to be trying to let them know what your intentions are as much as you can. And you could avoid a lot of different headaches. It would be no getting to the point of engagements that you have to deny. It would be no getting married and having to divorce somebody that you don't have to divorce. And I'm not saying that getting to know somebody guarantees you that you don't have to get a divorce, because every 5 years somebody changes. So you can marry somebody and you guys could be perfectly in sync in year 1, but in year 5 you guys could be distanced because you grew apart. See, the challenge in a relationship is growing together. The challenge isn't getting together. The challenge is growing together. Lisa Ray, I will say that it is no challenge. And let me say this about you too, Lisa Ray. I used to have pictures of you on my wall. You were the apex of what a beautiful woman looked like to me. But as I got older, I learned, even though we're visual creatures, it's about what is in between these ears, and what comes out of your mouth that will determine if I'm going to stay. And Lisa Ray, if at any point in my life I was single and I had saw you just on sight, I would go into a trance. I would go into a trance. And listen to me when I say this, fellas. I would go into a trance just from the look of you. Another woman that does that for me is Erykah Badu. You know, I can't look at Erykah Badu I can't look at her too long because she is so intoxicating the way she looks. Well, Lisa Ray, you have a similar quality to me. Now, you don't do it for everybody else, but a lot of people would agree you are a fine mama jamma. But I would be in a trance just from the presence of you. But as I listen to you, without emotionally diving in, I will be turned off by you. Because the things the way that you operate and the things that you say would make me a miserable man. And you're better than that. But you like being who you are. And look, I'm not knocking you for that. But what I am saying, Lisa Ray, is as fine as you are, 50-year-old Lisa Ray cannot compete with 25-year-old Lisa Ray. And I grant it, you can walk into a room of a bunch of women and you can still stand out. But any real man that's going to allow himself to make himself available for marriage is going to want to start a family. Lisa Ray, can a man really start a family with you? So that's the lure for a man to marry a woman. So when you're 50, okay, I'm not saying that you won't be able to get a man. No, I'm not saying that. And you got some guys making content talking about, I accept your kids. Listen, I've been in a situation where I was married to a woman that had a child. It's not that we can't accept your children, because we can. That's fine. But in the back of our minds, we know that that child is not our biological child. And we know that that child owes us nothing. And if the relationship is over, I'm not entitled to any access to that child. And why would why would any man with the option link himself to a woman who has children, develop an affection and affinity for that woman and those children, and then dealing with somebody with your mindset would drive him to the point where he didn't want to be with you or you didn't want to be with him, and then him risk not only the divide of you and him, but the divide of the children. Now, in cases where he's around long enough, the children grow up and they can call their own shots. That's something totally different. But it's still up to the children. Because if the children don't want to deal with him anymore, even when they're grown, then he coming around is going to be weird and creepy. My own child says that about me. My oldest child, who I wasn't around, says that about me. That me wanting to be in her life, me loving her, me caring about her, it's weird to her. And I don't blame her for that. It's new to her. It's foreign. She didn't have that. Like being defensive and somebody being trusting, faithful, and everything like that. It's kind of weird to you when you're so used to men dogging you, and you got a man come into your life and he treats you very, very well. When you don't deal with those traumas, that man, you will block your blessing. You won't be able to receive it. And it's okay. Listen, if you're with a woman, fellas, right now, I'm gonna close out. If you're with a woman right now and she likes to go out there and make her own money, okay? She's out there doing her thing, her career, her this, her that. You got to ask yourself, and you got to ask her the question, if you're in a situation where it's one thing if you guys decide to split the bills half and half, but Lisa Ray is not into that. She's not interested in that. And it's a lot, city girls ain't interested in that, right? P. Diddy's giving this, what is it? $100,000, whatever interval. I think it's a week or a month, whatever it is. But he gives Young Miami this amount of money while they're dating and stuff like that. And yes, he can do it. It's no problem for him. He's in his bag, as he says. But is that what it takes to be with you? Why can't you give yourself $100,000 a month? But what I'm going to say here is, are we getting in relationships or are we getting in sponsorships? Seems like today women are looking for sponsors. Not all women, but a lot of women. Enough of them to sound the alarm that it's women doing it. They're looking for sponsors. They're looking for somebody that's going to prop them up so they can live out their fantasies, so they can live out their dreams. A lot of them aren't thinking about making your dreams come true. A lot of them are saying, you don't need your dreams to come true because I am your dream. That should be enough for you. But yet and still, as a man, you're not enough for them. They need more. They need career. They need travel. They need trips. They need dinners. They need expensive materials because that's the equivalence of their dream. And it seems like the only people that can fund that is the rich. And that's why the rich are having sex with all of them. The top 20% earners are getting all of the women. They are sharing the bed. They don't want to share the bed with you, but they're sharing the bed with the ballers, the ones that's making a lot of money. A guy ain't got to wipe the crust out of his eye. If he making a lot of money, he will never have to hunt for women. They will come to him in droves. Albeit they have intentions that might not be in his best interest, but in terms of women, he's going to have his pick of the litter. All he got to do is all he has to do, sad to say, all he has to do is have a lot of money. If he's got a lot of money, he's never going to be like, man, I need a woman. Let me go find her. He'll walk to the store. He'll get out of his fancy car. He'll get attention. He goes to the mall. He gets out his fancy car. He's going to get attention. He wears his fancy jewelry. He's going to get attention. See, a lot of women won't even talk to you unless they think that you can do something for them. They're not thinking about what they can do for you. And here's the thing. Society has flipped it on its head. It's upside down now. It's not about what a woman can do for a man. It's about what a man can do for a woman. It's not about a man being the head of his household. It's about a woman being the head of her household. What can you do for me? Show me that you're interested in me. I did. I looked at you. I liked you. I came over and I spoke to you. You should know I'm interested. Now, show me you're interested in me by flying me out. I want to go to Dubai. Have you ever been to Dubai? No. But can you take me to Dubai? Well, I can. Okay, let's go to Dubai. But have any dude ever taken you to Dubai? No. So no dude is taking you to Dubai and you can't afford to go to Dubai. Yeah, but I deserve that. Well, if you do, you get as your works deserves. It's not the other way. It's not the other way around. You get as my works deserve. But that's what they would lead you to believe today. And they go in selling that crap like hotcakes. Fish and chips, baby. They coming in and they leading with that. Like, what can you do to show me that you with me? And they could have a whole dude. But if you look like you supply more, they ain't got no loyalty to them guys. They'll be out. They'll be out. Sponsorship. It's like, it's like an NFL team. You ever seen an NFL team and on their stadium, it might be called like Gillette Stadium in New England or Crypto.com in Los Angeles and stuff like that? Do you know why it's called those? Because those are the ones that give the most money to be represented by that organization. So whoever has the most money gets front row seating. And that's how a lot of that's how our society has cultivated our women today. It's rare that a woman will see a guy with potential and say, he's cute. He's a nice guy. He has a lot of the qualities that I'm looking for in a man. No, he doesn't have a lot of money, but I'll be with him. A lot of women not doing that. Maybe when they're 18, 19 years old or whatever the case may be, and they don't, and they just introduce into the game. But Other than that, they not doing that. Man, a woman that's 25, 35 years old, she ain't doing that. She like, man, what do you got? And fellas, we need to be asking them the same thing. What do you got? But we get canceled for saying, we shouldn't even say, what do you bring to the table anymore? We should just say, what can you do for me? Like, hey, listen, I think you're cute. I think you're nice. But before we go any further, I just want to know, what can you do for me? Be courteous. Ask them, say, what can I do for you? Lead with that. Be a gentleman, right? Lead with that and say, hey, listen, what you want from me? What can I do for you? She won't have any problems telling you what she can do for you. Matter of fact, you don't even have to ask her. She's going to tell you most times what you can do for her. Lisa Ray, you pay my bills. You take care of me and my family. They don't give much thought into when the question is posed on the other side. Okay, Lisa Ray, I can do all of that. Great. All right. Can I ask you a question? Sure. What about me? What do you mean, what about you? Well, you just, I didn't really ask you. You told me what you can give to me. Or you told me what you need from me. Well, I have things that I need from you too. Well, like what? Well, you gonna help me with my business? You gonna be romantically available for me when I need you? Are you gonna judge me when I come home when I'm telling you about my problems in the day? Are you gonna roll your eyes, or are you gonna look me in the eyes and listen to me intently? Are you gonna make sure that the house is always clean when I come home? Do I do are you is there gonna be hot is there gonna be fresh, healthy food on the table that actually feeds me energy instead of sap me energy? Or am I gonna have to get takeout? See, because Lisa Ray, there is an expectation more than what's between your legs when it comes to a man doing all of that for you. Now, granted, that is traditional and that's very standard. But even when that was standard and traditional, it's something that came with it. When you go to the Lion Kingdom, okay, the lionesses hunt. The king really doesn't hunt. But when they bring back the kill, it's for the king to do as he feels. So the king might let the cubs eat. He gonna get his piece, and then he gonna get his big piece of chicken, and then he gonna let his cubs eat first. And you know what the lioness is, and you know what the adolescents in the group do. They have to sit back and they have to wait until the king lets them have their part, because he's trying to grow a kingdom, and he's not growing a kingdom with a bunch of adults eating. His future is in his cubs, so he's got to make sure that they eat first. Same thing when I do with my wife. When it's time to eat, my wife serves me first, and she serves the kids second. But when there has been lean times, I make sure that my children eat first, and I might go without eating because I've had times like that, and my wife's stuck in there with me. So if things get lean for me, Lisa, are you going to stop doing these things for me? Are these things that I need you to do for me conditional? And in order to be with me, and on the flip side, no matter what you do, you expect me to do what I'm supposed to do. Are you going to bring that same energy? Because I'm going to tell you, Lisa Ray, you fine as I don't know what, but I need what I need. And if I need what I need, and you decide because you don't feel right, the weather's not right, you don't want to do these things for me, I don't know if I want to sign up for that. If I'm taking care of you, I need domestication. You offended by domestication? What man doesn't want if he's taking care of everything outside of the home? What man doesn't want everything in the home to be taken care of? What man doesn't want if he's taking care of, if a man is giving you all of your time, what man doesn't want when he wants time to not have it made available to him? You don't work. You get to stay home. You get to play. You get to go shopping. You get to do whatever you want. And I want to call you upstairs and I want to make sweet love to you. And you're going to tell me, no, I'm not available. So I'm doing all of this. So what you saying? So every time you ask me to be available for you, I got to be available for you? Well, do you expect me to do my part? What percentage of the time do you expect me to do my part? Like paying bills. You want them bills paid 100% of the time. Am I right or wrong? Now, if I'm wrong, cool, then you have a case. But if I'm right and you want me to pay the bills and you want me to provide and you want me to protect 100% of the time, is it a crime that I should want something from you 100% of the time? Is it a crime that I want you to be on call for my love? For my respect? And a real man ain't going to ask a lot of you. Go read the book Sex and a Sandwich. Real men aren't going to be asking you for this, that, and the third. Because if he's handling all of that, chances are he ain't around a lot. So you need to know when I'm going to be around. I need you to be available when I'm around. And sometimes I want to know you're there, but I don't want to be bothered. Because a man likes to be able to think, and a man likes his peace. So I want to know you there. Can you be peaceful? Can I have peace in your presence? Is the only time I can have peace when you're not around? Well, if that's the case, what's the point of being around? Lisa Ray, I married you because I loved you and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you and all of this other good jazz. But I got to be honest, Lisa Ray, what I'm providing you and everything like that, my vision, I made it abundantly clear. Fellas, make it clear. I wanted to make sure that you knew you leaned into me. I don't want to be in a relationship where you're not leaning into me. I don't want to be your sponsor. I want to be a husband. The difference between being a sponsor and a husband is I support your dreams and you get to do whatever you want to do, even to the detriment of your your lack of availability to me. But when you're my wife, when I'm your husband, you lean into me. Everything that we're doing for the betterment of each other. And granted, I know that the relationship ain't guaranteed to go all the way the distance. But if we are working together and we are sharing, then if we decide that we're not going to be together, both of us should come out better than we came into the relationship. I afforded you the opportunities to be able to free up your cash on just that level. I freed up your cash to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. What am I going to be able to say about you? So if we leave the relationship and you come out of it monetarily better and I come out monetarily worse, it was a bad deal for me from the jump. Let's play it out like this. I say this before. I'll pay all of the bills, even if it puts me check to check. But when you get your money, I want you to this is what I want you to do. Give me a percentage of it that you're going to get. Okay? Out of 100% of your money, give me 15% of it. And you take 15% of it. And no one will question what you do with your 15%. And no one will question what I do with my 15%. You can even break it down to 25, 25. You can either listen, I may not even be picky. You can give me 20% and I can give you 30, and you can keep 30% of your 100. And then the rest of the remaining amount, invest it for us. Whether you're smart and astute enough to know where to put that money, or you need my help, let's take 50% of your money and let's invest it for us. And then let's have a written agreement that if we decide to split, there's no fight over the money. 50% goes to you and 50% goes to me. Why does 50% go to you and 50% go to me of your money? Because your money was my money, because I freed up your money so it could be all your money. Most people have to go out there and they have to get a job, or they have to run a business, and they have to, and some of their money is drained from the responsibilities that they have. Being in your life, I took your responsibilities on myself. So because I took your responsibilities on, I'm entitled to your bag as well. I don't want to dig in your bag, but let's have an agreement on the bag that I get this percentage, you get this percentage, so that you can enjoy and I can enjoy. If you want to take, if it's a 25-25 split, of 50% going towards investments and 50% going to us. If it's a 25-25 split, you can do whatever you want to do with your money. If you want to set up extra stuff for you, if you want to invest in extra stuff, if you want to do something for the family, you have complete autonomy to do whatever you want to do with your side of your 25% that you're getting. And then I get to do the same thing. You want your birthday coming up or something like that? You want to do something nice for my birthday? Do it from your 25%. I'll do it for my 25%, whatever the case may be. But that 50% that you make, you bring it to the table, or bring it all to the table, and then we invest it. Let's invest it in conservative investments, things that we can agree on. You want to do real estate stuff? Let's agree on it. You want to do stocks? Let's agree on it. You want to do life insurance? Let's agree on it. You want to do cryptocurrency? Let's agree on it. You want to do the metaverse? You want to do NFTs? I don't care what it is that you want to do. It's going to be for us. It's going to be for us. And I don't, and if I'm not really good with the money and you're really good doing the money, I just need to be in the loop of what you're doing with the money. So if I say to you, I really think that that's a bad idea, then as a courtesy to me in a relationship, you are willing to discuss it with me. And we can have it, we can divide the 50% up in 3 categories. We can divide it in conservative, middle risk, and risky risk. And say this money over here is the risky risk. And we can track what's the risky risk stuff doing. And if it's not doing anything, you got to be willing to come back to the table and find out, hey, what you doing ain't working. But the middle risk stuff, it needs to have more turnover than not. And then the conservative stuff is supposed to have as much predictability as possible. Not maybe high interest yielding accounts, but it's supposed to have an expectation of what is coming out of it, of what we're getting from it. Then we go along 5 years, we go along 10 years. Maybe we get to maybe we get to the 8-year mark and we realize that we shouldn't be together. It's hard to walk away from something that's building. See, it's easier to walk away from something when you ain't built nothing. But when you sit there and you dealing with something with your spouse and it's tough, but you see that you guys are building something together, sometimes that is what will quench the fire that's happening in your forest. A lot of you ready to walk away from your relationships because ain't nothing to really lose. But if you start building together and say, you know what, we do disagree on this, that, and the third, but we make an excellent team. We're building something and we're having children and we're building for our children and our future. Now I'm going to stay. That might be something you work out in your head. But you get to take your money, Lisa, and go out there and you get to do whatever you want to do with your money. And my prize, like I'm paying, like let's say I put you in a $3 million home. And let's say I buy you $250,000 worth of furniture, the best furniture. Okay. Or more. Let's say that I'm really, really helping you to get to the level that you desire to be or maintain. You're telling me that is the price of what's in between your legs? Prove to me that you never had a one night stand. Prove to me that you didn't have casual intercourse with a creep. Prove to me that your body count is low. And you may have an argument. But if you had one whole phase in your life, one whole phase where you were giving up that kitty for nothing, you telling me that a jerk who's undeserving can get it for free and so easy? But when it comes to me, I have to pay the ultimate price because I'm husband material? That's an oxymoron. Mm-mm. I ain't paying for no pee. I ain't paying for no portal. No, not. That's par for the course. Because guess what? This magic stick is par for the course for you. I don't tell you, well, my money. You want something? Give me my money. I ain't pimping you. So why you pimping me? Fellas, stop putting yourself in situations where you are a sponsor. Relationships aren't for sponsorships. That ain't a relationship at all. It's what it is. It's a sponsorship. If you want a wife, it has to be beneficial for the husband and the wife. He has to be, and fellas, don't be tricked into your benefit is her portal. That's par for the course. If we're in a relationship together, and I am told, it is understood that I can't be with anybody else physically because I am with you, you're gonna give me some. And if you're not gonna give, I'm not gonna force myself on you. But if you're not giving me some, I'm out. Because why should I be made to give up what's so amply available for me? Is that a word? What is available to me in ample fashion? Why should I be able to give that up for your sometiminess? You're not going to dangle it in front of me like a carrot for the horse. The only one doing the dangling around here is me. And I'm not going to dangle it in front of you to tease you. I'm going to give it to you. You don't have to ask. You don't have to walk around on eggshells. Matter of fact, if you want it, just look at me. We can establish when you want it. When you look at it, when you want some, you just look at me like this. And then I know, then I'm ready. Vice versa. We can establish that because you shouldn't be asking for it in a relationship. Excuse me, I'd like to get a cheeseburger today, and I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday. No, we're not doing that. Those buns are mine. And vice versa. If that's the agreement we got, then it should be understood. Give it to me. You know I want it. Give it to me. But this isn't, but ladies, you can't be, not ladies. You females out there, you women, y'all can't be doing that supply and demand stuff. Oh, there's a huge demand for it? The price just went up. No, it should not cost anything in a relationship. And if it costs anything in or out of a relationship, congratulations, you prostitute. That's what you are. You are selling your body to get what you want. No. Y'all think, sometimes, let me be honest, sometimes us fellas, we might not be specifically in the mood. Y'all think we in the mood all the time. We might not be specifically in the mood, but we know you want some, so we're going to give it to you. You know, we know you're going to want some eat and beat, so we're going to give you some eat and beat. And we're going to do it top shelf. But y'all know we need something, and y'all are, I got to get away from him. Like, why are we together? Now, if you're medically sick, ladies, that's one thing. We get that. if you just medically can't do it. But I'd even say in a sense that if it's a long-term problem and you still want to build with him, you should make the necessary concessions and arrangements to make sure that you're both getting what you need. If you want to be the end all be all, then be the end all be all. Stop putting in the resume for jobs that you are not qualified to do. When the job asks you to do these 15 things every day, it is not your responsibility nor your place to say, I ain't doing all 15 of those. We told you that this was the job requirement and you said I can do it. But you were so caught up in the pay of how much you're going to be making on this job, you didn't give much thought to the assignment that it's going to take for you to keep the job. You got to keep the job in order to make the money. You think that once you get in the door, it's all gravy. You're going to find a way to finagle and not do what you're supposed to do. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to get replaced. Isn't that fair? If you have a business and you brought somebody in to do a particular job and they came in every day and they sat there and they talked on the phone and they played on the internet and they did the things that they were supposed to do, as a courtesy, you might sit down and talk to them. As a courtesy, you might write them up. But eventually, you're going to replace them. You're going to fire them. You might not even replace them right away. You might just fire them and say, you know what? The position is fine, not filled right now, versus me paying somebody to not do the position. It's like showing up for class and getting an F. Like you showed up to fail. You could have stayed home to fail, but you showed up to fail. You put effort in losing. If you just give effort, you win. If you just show up and you just do the things you're supposed to do, you ain't got to be the best in the class, but I'm pretty sure you'll pass. Do you know A, B, C, D, and F? Of all of those grades, every last one of them will pass you except the F. You can do poor and pass. You just got to do. So what are you showing? I never understood how you could show up and get an F. They got tutoring, after school, all kinds of things to help you get a good grade or get a decent grade. Man, sometimes, man, some people have to go get tutoring and make a C. Just to make a C. And if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. But my goodness, man, you think that you could just show up on a job and you expect because, oh, it's my presence. Like I laugh when women say, what do I bring to the table? I am the table. Like, really? I ain't even asking you what you bring to the table. I don't even eat my food at the table. Do you know that sometimes most of the time, I sit down at my chair while I'm watching TV and I eat. So I don't really even, at my little fold out table. So I don't even really care I don't really even care about what you bring to the table. It's just what you bring. What do you bring? What separates you from every other woman? It's your cute little nose, your beautiful eyes, your smile, your little waist. Don't talk about your body because these BBLs got all of y'all looking exactly the same. All of y'all. All of y'all walking around with big old tatas, big booties. All of y'all are running around with that now. That's plenty. All y'all running around trying to look like Kim Kardashian. It's not even a question of half these girls out there if they got BBLs. It's a question of how well are the BBLs. They're not rare anymore. BBLs is becoming very normal in this society. You see these girls and they got these BBLs on social media. You see these girls in these bikinis and they wearing these little things, these little inserts in their underwear to make them look like they got a fat chocha. Right? All of y'all doing the same thing, man. And it's too many of y'all. Like, y'all outnumber men. So just like this one is well put together from Dr. Miami, and this other one is put together from Dr. Miami. This one has a Lisa Ray mindset. And this one has a more suitable mindset. Lisa Ray. You may have been born to look like that, but there are guys that are willing to deal with a woman who's got BBLs that will treat them better. There are guys out there who will go and get a big girl and help her lose her weight, whether by the doctor or working out with them. And then any guy tell you some of the best kitty is from the big girls. And big girls know how to cook. Like, Lisa, just know the place. Know thine place and know thine space. Know who you're in competition with and know where you are on the biological timeline and know where and know who you are in competition with. You can walk in a room with some 20 and 30-year-olds, Lisa Ray. I know. You can walk in a room with some 20 and 30-year-olds. But you put yourself out so much that people know what's in here. So you don't have the same effect that you did when you were Players Club. It's just what it is, babe. And Lisa Ray, I love you. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. I jokingly said that when I was talking to my wife about you, and I was just like, she was just like, I get it, Lisa Ray, she got it going on physically. But it's just like, but that mindset that she has, come on. Even my wife said she's a woman. But I'm just telling you, Lisa Ray, like, you are so about to be the cat lady. A woman that's that fine, that couldn't secure and maintain a man. You mean there's none of them in the world? I get it. There's some jerks out there, but I mean, don't you take some responsibility for the jerks that you ended up with? Take it. Own it. Own it. Plaster it on your forehead. Yeah, everybody plays the fool. I played the fool. My ex-wife, I played the fool. Should have never got with my ex-wife. Never. But I allowed myself to be emotional. But see that? Did you see what that sounds like? That sounds like accountability. I was the reason that I got married to my ex-wife. Nobody put a gun to my head and made me marry her. Nobody. And everything that I went through, I had some say in going through that. And I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm certainly not here to bash my ex-wife. We didn't work out. It's over. That's it. Because I know what happened when I was there. That's good enough for me. I don't need to sell to the court of public opinion. That's not going to do me anything. Getting the public on my side, not going to do me anything. If you like me, you like me. You don't, you don't. It ain't really nothing that I can do about it. But you know what? Somebody loves me. Somebody's love me. And somebody loves you too. So, you gotta, Lisa, I'm wishing you the best. I really do. I really pray and hope that you prove me wrong and you get with somebody and you experience the truest sense of happiness and joy in your life. But you hurting yourself with that mindset that I'm giving you some. I'm giving it to you. No, baby, no. For some men, getting some is not difficult, albeit if they're not balling in the top 20%, have to be a little bit of flexing and lying going on. But women like to be told. Women operate on words. Men operate on what they see. Women operate on what they hear. And a man that understands what a woman wants to hear, he'll tell her what he wants to hear. And he's just making a mental note of it. So, we're going to wrap up right there. Thanks for laying. Thanks for laying. Well, you might have been laying. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, what I said has a positive impact on you. I am not for the fellas. I'm not for the women. I'm for the people. But we got to hold each other accountable for what it is. Make sure that you like this video. Please make sure that you comment on this video. It really, really helps the algorithms. Make sure that you share this video, okay, in your circles. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified when I'm doing new content. All right? It's been real. Peace and love.